Greetings and pleasantries to you. This is Archangel. So a guy came up to me today and said, I thought about you the other day. Then proceeds to tell me about some feminist blather he overheard that made him think of me in my messages. This has happened numerous times. Someone will tell me how they thought of me when they were forced to take some man-hating lecture at college, or how they had a niece tell everyone at the family campout how beards are oppressive to women. They all returned to tell me that they experienced a manifestation of male inequity and thought it amusing enough to relay to me. The funny thing is, they act like male devaluation and disposability is my issue, that it is my fairy tale concoction that has no bearing on them. They are outside of it. Gynocentrism does not affect them. And when they see some random isolated male devaluing occurrence, they chuckle to themselves because it reminds them of that whacked out paranoid crazy guy that they know who is most likely gay, jaded, or misogynistic. Yet, they think their experience novel enough to come tell me that it reminded them of me. Well, me and my 20 personalities, thank you for your patronizing attempt to connect with me using my crazy hate-mongering messages as a common denominator from which to start a warm and friendly conversation. So sweet of you to give the schizo freak a little attention. However, just like stray cats or bears at the campsite, don't feed them or they will keep coming around. Ergo, stop giving the MGTOWs attention. This will only encourage them to keep preaching their crap. Okay, everyone, listen up. Serious grown-up talk here. I understand many think male empowerment messages are exaggerated hate-mongering, even made-up fiction regarding male devaluation, female nature, and gynocentrism. It is evident that most males feel they live outside of gynocentrism, that they are exempt from abuse or usury, that ubiquitous contempt of males does not affect them, because they believe men still run the world, and thus male disposability is simply a nonsensical discussion that losers without girlfriends have on the internet. Well, gentlemen, I have a message for you. It may come as quite a shock, but guys are not in control. Men do not run anything. Females are in control. Yet, if gynocentrism and male devaluation are fairy tales, why do guys get so pissed when other guys complain about male mistreatment? Why are so many dudes polarized against men's rights or MGTOW? If gay, jaded woman haters preach silly fiction on the internet, then just let them be. Nothing they discuss has any bearing on reality or the males who are exempt from it, right? Yet, these gynocentrism-exempt males go out of their way to troll and harass male empowerment spheres. Why? I have often wondered why guys, the very beings whom we champion rights and advocate for, why an overwhelming majority get livid and froth at the mouth over male empowerment issues. Well, the reasons are multitudinous, but essentially you are attacking them, their beliefs, their way of life, by disparaging females they are familiar with, their mom or daughter or wife or grandma or aunt or girlfriend. You are attacking their addiction to female validation. You are attacking their belief in the Easter Bunny called romance. You attack their hopes, dreams, and tell them it is all a sham to usurp utility from them. They see male empowerment messages as attacking them in a personal, almost physical way. Yet, oftentimes, I observe over-the-top reactions from males regarding male empowerment messages. When a guy points out unfair treatment of males, he is usually met with ruthless shaming tactics. Man up, suck it up, take care of business, get her done, assume your responsibilities, etc. But hey, wait, hold up. If these gay, jaded woman haters are making up stuff about chicks that will have no impact on society, then why give them attention? Just let their little movement peter out into nothingness. Don't give them or their conspiracy theories any attention, and they will eventually come out of the basement and find a girlfriend so that they may finally contribute to society. You see, the truth is, we in male empowerment spheres, we speak righteously, and our observations scare males who do not want to look at reality too closely, for they might find that we are right. So instead, they try to disparage and silence us. But if they actually looked at the world objectively, they would see we speak absolute truth and logic, and this scares them. Hence the over-the-top reactions by guys against guys who stick up for guys. The truth is, males are not in control. Gynocentrism is, and males are its lifeblood, helpless fodder for female consumption, and more males recognize this on a subconscious level. However, when you point out the helplessness of the modern Western male, they go almost violent on you and shame you with all the aforementioned man-up nonsense. And so, appropriately, there are 3 avenues males take when faced with male devaluing messages. They either flagrantly deny it, they embrace the mistreatment, or they awaken from it and reject the corrupt system by walking away. Many males, such as those who relay cutesy little feminist stories to me because they think it will brighten my day by validating my crazy conspiracy theories, and because they think they are exempt from male devaluation. Usually, these males have traditionalist leanings. They still think that males are in charge, that males are still running the show. This group blatantly denies male empowerment messages because they truly believe males to still be the privileged controlling class, which is why they act super sweet and submit to mommy or the wife or to females in public, because they feel some sort of guilt that males are unanimously in charge with all this privilege, and so they willingly defer to females as moral penance for their privilege. Guys, you are in charge of nothing, not even yourselves. You can't even control or overcome your addictions to female validation. You run nothing. You are being run, and this is the truth. Females have run you with sex, fragility, and motherhood since day one of this pathetic species. You silly little monkeys, you are the biggest subscribers to the feminist propaganda of male oppression and privilege. You really are bamboozled into thinking that guys have honors, rights, and entitlements that females do not. And so, out of good conscience, you submit fully to female control, as some sort of reformation for wanton male privilege. Privilege which is propagandized as coming at the expense of women's dignity and rights. We have guys, oh so many guys, that hear feminist messages. They hear male empowerment messages, and so they briefly look around and observe males in positions of authority, from governments to religion to industry, and most will conclude that males are still in charge, so feminists must be somewhat right. Male empowerment is all wrong, and hence, to be a modern, conscientious, politically correct male, we need bow and kowtow to females in some moral attempt at leveling a playing field unfairly steeped in the male's favor. And he knows this because he sees that most government officials, most business owners, and corporate management, nearly all religious leaders, science, the arts, philosophy, nearly all endeavors of human consequence are dominated by males. And so males, guilted over their sex, will publicly devalue males as oppressors and elevate females as angels. This is what compassionate males, the in-charge class, will do for the oppressed females, the victim class. And you see this narrative playing out anytime a politician seeks to toughen laws on males and soften responsibilities on or protect females. Anytime a corporate tycoon says women are precious and special and they are still held down. Anytime a religious figure says his wife is his rock and that women are the closest thing to God on earth. Anytime any male anywhere says behind every great man there is a woman, or happy wife, happy life. This is males falsely elevating females, female interest, and the female persona to undeserved artificial pillars of exaltation, all because they look around and see males in authority positions, and they conclude that males dominate and oppress females as the propaganda states, and so they have this moral obligation to raise females up. So, Tradincon guys will white knight and bow to females more than the average crotch waffle addicted male feminist. Well, fellas, if you feel so bad about male domination and supposed female oppression, Why don't you give up your business or authority position to females? Why don't you turn over your seat in the religious hierarchy to females? Why don't you give up your role in science, research, mathematics? Oh, wait, we're trying this already. It's called affirmative action. But still, you guys feel that females are done so wrong because you look around and see males in authority positions? Well, why not hand over what you have to them and let them rule? Oh, I'm sorry, we're already doing this. It's called relationships and marriage. And then the handing over of material assets is called divorce. You see, males like being in public positions of power because it feeds their traditionalist illusion of strength and control over females. This feeds their ego that they are above others. Oh, males will tout females as better, cleaner, superior, prettier, smarter, blah, freaking, etc. all day long. Yet, they will not give up their authoritarian positions to a female because authority feeds their ego that they are in charge, that females praise them, and that society respects them, still looks up to them, and still honors the male and masculine archetype. Males will say that they stay in power to fight for females against the other bloodthirsty misogynistic males in authority positions around the globe. Yet, the sad truth is, there is no honor or respect for the male anymore. There is merely contempt, blame, and besmirchment of males and the masculine archetype. So, a little secret for you. Ultimately, it does not matter the sex of those in visible control or authority positions when they all push a female elevating gynocentric agenda. Thus, you see, males are not in control. They may fill the seats of visible authority in society, but these men are each gynocentric. Each has a weakness for female wiles. Each has a seething need for female attention and validation. Each will defer to mom or the daughter or the wife, even if they appear to be a playboy who uses females for sex and gets embroiled in scandal. They are still elevating females to pedestals of worship and devaluing males as the drones that need to die to keep society running, the very society where they chase their addictions to females, while publicly deferring to ladies every opportunity they get in order to garner more social justice warrior brownie points for being a morally conscientious, politically correct modern man. But the truth is, we are a gynocentric species due to our reproductive mechanisms, based upon the unbalanced role either sex's anatomy plays in reproduction, and the value displacement it causes as a result. Meaning, gestation is the lion's share of human reproduction, and this resides with females. Hence, females have more human value. So, no matter who is in charge, they will service female interests. Open your eyes, gentlemen. It doesn't matter that males seem to run the world. They are gynocentric bearded taco addicts that are pushing female agendas. People just can't seem to grasp this point. They think that because males occupy visible seats of authority, that females are oppressed. No, males are simply actors pushing female agendas. Seriously, consider. How did we get all the legal inequities that we have if males pushing male agenda have been at the helm of power all these years? If this is a good old boys club, how do females have voting rights or driving privileges? How is it that chicks own property and usurp property from males via divorce if a bunch of misogynists have been in power all these years? Affirmative action, lopsided gender sentencing standards, female-owned business perks, female abstinence from selective service, rape shield laws, the absolute joke that we call family court, divorce entitlements, all these things happened while chauvinistic, misogynistic males have been in power. Can you rudimentary simpletons put two and two together, or do you need help from the teacher? Female elevation, male devaluation happened on males' watch while dudes were in power, oppressing everyone. Gee, that's curious, huh? Males are not in charge of anything. They serve female interests, just as females serve their own interests. This is what happens in a gynocentric species. Wow, see how that works? If you, in any way, question gynocentrism, please review human reproduction. Observe who plays a larger role, not who is more important, because males create life, but who plays a larger role in the successful completion of human reproduction. And there is your societal priority, with those who play the larger role in reproduction. Males do not run anything. They are slaves in life. Slaves to societies, communities, governments, religions. Slaves to the welfare and wants of others, specifically females. But the source of male devaluation is males slaving away to their desires and need for validation, which means they bow to females. They serve females at home and in public. Yet guys still pretend dudes command respect and run everything. Guys are so pathetic. You don't run anything. Females run you, whether through motherhood or sex or by playing on fragility as a scared little bunny rabbit that needs protecting. Females manipulate, males capitulate. Males, thinking they run the world, are males still buying into feminist narratives of female oppression and victimization. And this is why they will push male abusive legislation, or they will publicly mock and demean males. This is why they have allowed an atmosphere where females can do anything they want and males must support, protect, and endure their abuse. A culture where females feel the right to hit or slap a male at her leisure, and males are supposed to sit on their hands and take it. This atmosphere has been brought about because males think they are oppressing females, and so taking punishment from females is a righteous punishment for their sex oppressing the angelic females. This is how males contract pain relevance associative disorder, where they equate their value to females based upon the endurance of pain from females. Hence, most males feel that some verbal and physical abuse is their just reward for being a member of the raping, plundering, murderous sex, and that, as a progressive, morally conscientious, politically correct male, they will take the female's toddler-like tantrums and physical venting on them as equitable punishment for their gender, and they should protect a female's right to treat males with such contempt. Meaning they should take the abuse and protect their abuser should someone step in to protect them. You see it all the time. Anonymous dudes step in to protect a female from reciprocation after she hits some male. Males do this out of a sense of obligation because the propaganda states that males oppress females by consuming authority positions in society and then legislating unfair privileges to themselves at the expense of females. This is simply window dressing, the advertisement outside the storefront. Yet nobody pokes their head inside the shop to see what is really going on. Males do not run the world. Females run it through their influence over males. Males are simply actors, visible puppets. Yet who runs the performance? The actors or the directors? The instrument players or the conductors? Males are actors, many of whom get visible recognition and limelight when it comes to authority positions, but females are the directors controlling them. Now, in the hierarchy of theater, directors seem to control the actors and the show, yet those who really control everything are the producers. They ultimately call the shots. So, if there are negative, other-dimensional, otherworldly beings, or negative entities creating chaos on this planet, they are like the executive producers, controlling females, and females are the directors who in turn control males and their performances, and males are the actors upon which everything is based. Now, from a strict human, material, atheistic perspective, females are the executive producers, and high-level governmental, religious, or corporate males are the directors who control the performance of the average man on the street, the actor, whose role it is to build and maintain society. No matter how you slice it, the governmental officials or religious leaders, they are merely directors who kowtow to females, who are the executive producers. Even a cute little 4-year-old girl can command and sway a world leader or a corporate icon. So males are run by females. Males are not in charge. The best they can achieve is middle management. Males manage other males. Males indeed have power over other males, but females control males. Males believing the patriarchy power myth cannot concede power or control impotence, so instead they harass whiny males complaining about mistreatment. Now, the other type of male is those who admit devaluation yet see no recourse but to embrace it in order to salvage some dignity and identity. Again, we must ask, why do ignorant blue-pill man-cattle care what a few crazy gay misogynistic guys are saying to other crazy gay misogynistic dudes online? Why are males the most fervent enforcers of shaming tactics on other males? Well, for one, males only have power over other males. They are helpless in the wake of females. So this is the impotent and disadvantaged exercising authority and dominion over fellow disadvantaged as some sort of affirmation that they still have control in life. Also, they fear these complaining, hate-mongering males will stir more and more people to their bigoted cause, which will somehow encroach on Mangina's personal little pink sky, cherry pie, divine feminine fantasies. However, on a deeper level, males complaining of injustice stir up subconscious feelings of helplessness and mistreatment that most males have been burying for years. When you point out how females, the state and society treats and views males as raping, murdering, plundering laborers and bodyguards, as well as burping, farmer-blowing, gargoyle-looking fart dispensaries, how males are disadvantaged in social and legal systems, and how, essentially, male life is worth less than female life, you are basically calling gynocentric males cowards for succumbing to all the injustice. You also accuse them of weakness or cowardice, lacking the courage to speak up for themselves or rein in their sexual or validational desires. You can see these masochistic males everywhere who go all drill sergeant on guys when they see another male suffering or hurting or complaining about injustice, whom they proceed to humiliate with the usual man up, stop being a sissy shaming tactics. You see, males are taught all their lives to be tough and strong, to not let emotion show, for it is weakness, and ultimately, males are counseled to meet everything with stoicism. So when you point out how males are mistreated, devalued, and ultimately disposable, this conveys many unpleasant truths to the blue pill male. 1. You are not in charge. You are not in control. This is not a man's world. And the fact that you are not in control means you are a victim to circumstance, and victimhood is a shameful weakness that males have been taught to reject. Next, pointing out injustice towards males points out male impotence in the face of inequity, and helplessness is a shameful display of weakness, and weakness is something that males have been taught not to abide. Also, it points out male weakness to vice, as they simply white knight, grovel, and beg to get attention and validation from females. And being helpless to a vice is weakness, and again, weakness is shameful. Essentially, we are all taught to toughen up and serve, and all this complaining of inequity brings up images of victimhood and helplessness. Helplessness is something that males try to suppress and hide, yet all the neatly suppressed wounds and fears and weaknesses get triggered when they hear a red pill. They have been taught to be strong all their life, and you manage to call out their weakness with a few simple gynocentric observations. So, after brief consideration, many males adopt the position that you cannot change gynocentrism, so shut up and take it like a man. You see, deep down on some level, males realize they are weak and helpless against female wiles. They are defenseless, and this insinuates them as victims, since victims have no control in their environment, and victimhood to males is the ultimate shame. So, how do males resolve helplessness against the cruelty of women with being tough and in charge? Why, they simply own the injustice against them. Males either ignore male injustice and pretend that males still run the world, or they embrace the inequity. However, the end result is that both groups white knight for females and preach the protecting and providing for women. Both groups actively preach how males are vile and evil, and how females are wondrous and miraculous. And both groups embrace males dying for females, and males treating women with chivalry. However, rather than ignore male inequities, the masochistic group essentially takes the inequities and embraces them as a way to deflect victimhood and shame. They are not victims to inequity if they actively choose mistreatment and usury, right? So, you get males who twist usury into conquest. For example, rather than admit they got screwed and victimized in divorce court, males will say that their divorce was the best money they ever spent, or it was worth every penny, as if they had any choice in the matter, as if that court order is not bleeding them dry. They will act like it was their choice to work more hours, give away all their money, and eat ramen noodles for the next 5 years, just to fund a divorce thrust onto them, which they will turn around and tell everyone was worth every penny. Take victimhood and turn it into choice. In this way, males can avoid the appearance of weakness or helplessness or victimhood status that would otherwise brand them if they were to complain about their mistreatment. And this is why so many blue pill males come unglued at males who express hurt or pain over inequity, because complaining males are displaying weakness, acting like victims, which strong creatures do not do. And in the absence of physical beauty, all males have to boast is strength. Males strive to preserve the illusion of strength. The inference of abuse by females announces males as helpless to gynocentrism and females. And when males lower their defenses long enough to observe inequity against males and see the pain of other males, this opens a cauldron of suppressed hurts, an entire lifetime of suck it up, man up, take it like a man, boys don't cry, and all the take care of women type entrainment males have endured, where their personal discomfort or emotion is to be displaced, suppressed as we cater to the fragile female folk. Men are supposed to be tough, resilient, in charge, not helpless victims of injustice. A perfect example of male avoidance persecution is when I discuss circumcision. I watched a video where a younger male was talking about how upset he was that he had been circumcised as an infant, and the most venomous, cruel comments came from males. I watched another video where a guy was on the street protesting circumcision, and some idiot came up to him and got all up in his face, berating him, trying to turn his male genital mutilation protest into a patriotic issue somehow. Guys cannot stomach the weakness that accompanies victimhood, so they act like they choose the abuse. They like it. You cannot be a victim when you willingly embrace mistreatment or utility. I was not mutilated as a helpless child. I'm glad my penis was hacked up. I prefer it. I would have done it anyway when I got older. Embracing abuse is the lesser of two evils, because to males, being seen as weak or helpless is worse than being abused by females, or raped in divorce or family court, killed in war, worse than sleepless nights or 12-hour workdays. In denial males still think they are in charge and respected and looked up to in society and by females. They will not admit themselves as slaves who are helpless to their need for validation, so they deny male abuse. However, the masochists see injustice, yet they choose to embrace the pain and suffering, which deflects shame by deflecting victimhood, because they now choose to be devalued. You are not a victim to something when you choose it. Thus, you are not weak in the wake of male helplessness to their social environment. You see, tough guys of all stripes put up with abuse from females and turn around and protect them from harm, because to admit her abuse would be to admit your helplessness to it, your weakness as a being whose sole reputation is that of strength. Yet here, you are a victim to female legislative and societal abuse, which all favor females. So, to salvage some degree of self-identity that does not involve weakness, helplessness, or validation-addicted victimhood status, males do the only thing they can. They embrace the inequity as a preference. They choose to be utilities for females. This is where males develop PRAD, Pain Relevance Associative Disorder, where they identify their existence with suffering for others. Males embrace injustice as a weakness avoidance tactic. They do not want to be seen as victims to gynocentrism. Victims are weak, victims are helpless, victims are frail, pathetic, fragile, and all these things are the opposite of the one tenet masculinity is propped on: strength. Why do males get so abusive to males involved in male empowerment? Well, when males see other males show weakness or express pain over a mistreatment, when males see males cry, they get disgusted because it reminds them they are all helpless to injustice. And thus they are all victims, no matter how they pretend they like being lesser in value and pampering a sex that cares not about their suffering. However, the truth is, all you tough guys out there, all you fire-breathing white knights, all you die-in-the-wool traditional conservatives, you have all been victims, helpless against girls ripping your heart out, helpless against genital mutilation at birth, helpless against a biased mother, sister, grandmother, aunt, teacher, and the misandristic chips on their shoulders. Or perhaps you have been the victim of simpering weak fathers who did not stick up for your worth, helpless against a society that seeks your provision and then your demise. Yes, all you tough studs, you all have been victims and pretending you like being abused or hit or lesser in worth than females. This does not obscure your helplessness as a victim of gynocentrism numerous times throughout your life. You have been helpless against a knife and a society full of ignorance and hatred, driving that knife to cut off your most sensitive anatomy, or driving that pen to divorce you from your children or material assets. Helpless against a paradigm that lowers your human value beneath that of females. Yet now you're gonna act all thankful, like you appreciate the verbal and physical abuse females and males dish out. You like having your hopes and dreams and tender hearts marginalized and smeared all over the ground. You enjoy bleeding your health, your vitality, your life, slaving away for the welfare of the ungrateful. You like being held to impossible standards. You like this injustice and hatred hurled onto you. You choose all of this and appreciate all this mistreatment because it made you tough. It made you a man. You are serving a higher good. Oh yes, you actually appreciate and prefer abuse. Again, when faced with gynocentric reality, you either deny inequity or you take victimhood and turn it into choice. Male devaluation, male disposability, both are good. Yes, everything is as it should be. A lifetime of abuse is worth the smile of a girl. A lifetime of abuse is worth that one slow dance when she looked so pretty. A lifetime of abuse is worth a couple passionate nights of female-assisted ejaculation, or seeing a mother hold a child. Males tell themselves that these few pleasurable seconds in life make all the inequity, all the abuse, all the torment, all the hypocritical, duplicitous, undeserved injustice males endure in life. It makes it all worth it. Making pretty girls smile justifies all the suffering, and they would do it all over again just for another ice cream cone and a kiss from their first crush. Then, these males will enforce the brainwashing man-up tragedy onto their sons, causing them to remain victims who tell themselves they choose abuse for some greater good. You pathetic losers are more transparent than anyone else. You are the weak victims you pretend not to be. So, there are two types of males. There is the 2,000 that rebuke gynocentrism, and then the other few billion that concede to it. Of the males that concede, there are two reasonings why males buy into the malarkey of female oppression, and so endure abuse from females and artificially elevate them as some sort of just reward for their sex. First, we have the males that think they still run the world, and so they artificially elevate females, and take female abuse as some sort of moral conscientious repayment for rampant male domination, oppression, and privilege. And then, we have the males who know that males are abused and disadvantaged, and so they choose to be mistreated as a way to salvage their dignity. They are not victims of female abuse, they choose to serve females. You see, males have been kicked out of value, and they know it. But to save face, these males are saying, "You can't fire me, I quit." Yeah, whatever. 6 of one, half dozen of the other. Victim or choice. Either way, the end result is male value termination, and there is nothing they can do about it. Hence, they are victims to the gynocentric paradigm. The only males who are not victims to unjust inequity are the males that have the courage to reject mistreatment, the males who walk away from a corrupt game, the males everyone thinks are acting like weak victims by complaining about gynocentrism. These are the only males who are not victims. Only they have the courage to rebuke the abuse that every other male contributes to because they are helpless against its power. Even though males have been victims to nature, to society, to their own desires, and to females, here and now, we can stop being victims and choose to reject abuse. We can be strong. We can take control. We do have power and choice. The power to reject gynocentrism and thus reject the victimhood status that males have been denying exists. Awakened males are not the victims society pretends them to be. They are the future. My brothers, stand with me, live free.